Imagine spending decades cultivating your reputation, ladies and gentlemen, only to discover it is under attack one day. Not from adversaries or rivals, but from someone you once believed to be on your side. Papoose says he's currently living that exact nightmare. There are rumors circulating in the industry that Papoose is tired of remaining silent. Claressa Shields, the self-proclaimed Gwot of boxing, is supposedly telling his friends, interviewers, and anybody else who will listen that she didn't simply break his heart. She attempted to ruin his whole career. We're discussing deliberate slander, behind-the-scenes calls to event planners, and what he describes as a planned operation to discredit him in the field. According to sources, he has voice notes, emails, receipts, and even messages in which Claressa allegedly boasts about keeping Pap hidden. Here's the actual twist, though. According to several insiders, this was business-related rather than personal. Claressa wanted to replace Papoose in the precise places that gave him legitimacy, not merely make him look bad. Therefore, is this an instance of a sour breakup turning into a full-blown career conflict? Or is Papoose changing the story to look good? This rabbit hole is deep, so fasten your seatbelt. The room froze, not simply fell silent, as Papoose finally spoke. No clever captions on Instagram. Not a little subliminals, a man speaking the words no one saw coming while looking at the camera. She attempted to kill me. Hip-hop, let's face it, loves a nasty breakup, so at first, people believed he was being dramatic. However, this wasn't your average, he cheated, she cheated rumors cycle. Papoose wasn't discussing lost love. He was referring to the declared war and its purported perpetrator, Claressa Shields. Yes, that Olympic gold medalist, self-described GWAT, and unbeaten fighter Claressa. And now, unbeaten in the art of professional sabotage, if Papoose is to be believed. Industry sources claim that they are the type of people who only converse in dimly lit lounges while holding their phones face down. The relationship between Papoose and Claressa wasn't the only source of conflict between them. After the split, it supposedly got worse when Claressa was apparently making phone calls behind the scenes while still grinning for the cameras. According to one promoter, who naturally requested anonymity, it wasn't even subtle. It was her voice on the phone. When I got it. She didn't advise against booking Papa. However, she added, you know who not to invite if you want me at your event. And believe me, you pay attention when Claressa Shields says something like that. This wasn't petty, if it's true. This was a premeditated move. And for that reason, Papoose has begun using phrases like career destruction and in private chats. Blackballing. Words you don't use unless you have substantial proof. This is where things start to get messy. According to reports, Claressa's camp is dismissing all of this as irrational storytelling. Some whisperers, however, claim that there's more to this than ego bruises. Some claim that Claressa was attempting to replace Papoose rather than merely harm him. Consider it. Papoose established a reputation for years as a liaison between hip-hop and specific sports communities by organizing events, attending charity games, and being that respected yet safe person you could put on a flyer. However, those identical faces began to see Claressa's name once she joined his orbit. It felt normal at first. She is a victor. She can be sold. She's new. Vitality. However, the timing seems off. This gem was revealed by a person close to an event organizing team. Pap was scheduled to participate in a panel discussion. We learn that the panel is being reorganized a week later. Who's the main attraction now? Claressa is discussing how she has always wished to combine her love of music with fighting. It seemed deliberate. Papoose began to see a trend, if the whispers are to be believed. The calls that he used to receive abruptly stopped silent. She was receiving invites that he would typically receive. And the responses were evasive when he inquired as to why. Creative direction, schedule issues, and budget adjustments. Here's the worst part, though. One a mid-level event coordinator's purportedly leaked email stated frankly, Claressa requested that if she's on the roster, Pap isn't. Could it be a fake? Of course. Is it plausible enough to account for Papoose's recent outburst of resentment? Yes, absolutely. Naturally, social media is consuming this. Another viral TikTok dissects the purported timeline. One tweet with over 40,000 likes says, she beat opponents in the ring. Now she's knocking out careers, with menacing background music and grainy images of Papoose appearing more and more anxious, as if it were a Netflix documentary. Not to be overlooked is Remy Ma. Although she hasn't discussed these recent allegations in public, let's just say that her likes on some dubious tweets aren't particularly subtle. People are now asking whether Remy knew this was going on all along, as the story of Papoose, the devoted husband, being betrayed has changed to one of Papoose, the industry veteran, being forced out of his own lane. Claressa isn't exactly hiding, of course. Only a week ago, she shared a number of Instagram stories from a business luncheon where she served as the keynote speaker. It just so happened that Papoose had previously performed as a guest at same luncheon. She wrote in the caption of one picture, "Leveling up means leaving dead weight behind." Was that a life motto in general or a straight to the point? The internet took its decision and ran with it. Papoose, meanwhile, is taking the long view. No hectic lives, no furious outbursts, simply brief, thoughtful remarks made during interviews, deliberately sowing the seeds that Claressa is not the champion that everyone believes her to be. He said this during a radio interview. The battle isn't always fought in the ring. Sometimes, people are aiming at your livelihood in the boardroom. And believe me, the stakes increase up when you portray a public dispute as a struggle for existence. Through the roof. This leads us to the most crucial query. Is Papoose able to provide proof? Or is all of this a part of a bigger story he's making up to avoid seeming foolish after a terrible breakup? Because he has been secretly assembling a folder, according to reports. Yes, yet another notorious folder with text messages, call logs, and witness accounts from people who claim to have witnessed Claressa scheming against him. It could end your career if this folder is present. However, for whom? If the accusations are true, Claressa, if it turns out to be a house of cards based on ego and rumors, it's either real or Papoose. In any case, the first blows have been delivered. And they are not the kind that can be absorbed with a simple apology. An ex-manager who had previously worked with both Papoose and Claressa entered the story just when it appeared that things couldn't get much messier. A confidential source claims that this former manager is contemplating going public and is sitting on a goldmine of behind-the-scenes information. Oh, this will be more than simply a quarrel if that occurs. It will be a seismic event for the industry. The former manager didn't remain silent for long. Days later, the murmurs became disclosures, which in turn sparked intense industry discussion. This anonymous insider claims that the alleged Claressa campaign against Papoose was more than a petty reaction. Allegedly, it was organized months in advance. The allegation that Claressa was aware of Papoose's entertainment industry contacts as a shortcut. Dating someone who already has connections with promoters, label executives, and media outlets is preferable than gradually developing them. And why keep the middleman once those doors were open? Claressa and a close friend allegedly exchanged the following text: "Once I'm in the room, this is about me now, don't need Pat there." Although the message's veracity hasn't been confirmed, it has been screen captured and circulated on all of Instagram's chaotic gossip pages. Papoose's staff has been carefully pursuing public relations in the meantime. Instead of revealing everything at once, they are allowing the drama to unfold gradually. Here is one exclusive interview. There was one mysterious post. The result is a calm, well-paced story that keeps Claressa on the defense without giving Papoose a desperate appearance. The internet, however, is everything but patient, let's face it. The entire tale is what fans want, and they want it now. A group of self-described industry experts dissected the timeline minute by minute in one widely shared YouTube live video, examining everything from vintage event flyers to looked through old Instagram stories to find evidence of Claressa's purported takeover. This is where it becomes even more juicy. According to the former manager, Claressa secured partnerships using Papoose's name by convincing event organizers that he would attend, then abruptly canceling and filling in herself. It would explain why some of Papoose's long-standing relationships abruptly cooled off if that were the case. In the corporate world, nobody enjoys getting burned. Additionally, your stock quickly declines if your name is linked to faulty looks. We learned this from a promoter who went by the nickname Mikey B. Pap was scheduled for a charity event. Occasion. I received the confirmation. We find out 2 weeks later that Claressa is coming in his place since he has double booked. It appeared to be a combined appearance. Not at all, only her. She spoke, took pictures, and walked away. Hap was completely unaware of it. This presents a harsh image if true. Strategic erasure as well as romantic betrayal. However, not everyone is on board. Papoose's version of events, according to certain industry voices, conveniently omits the truth that long before Claressa came along, his own booking frequency had been declining. Claressa didn't replace him, one blogger even stated, "This isn't sabotage. It's relevance decay." The game simply went on. However, though when you consider Claressa's social media activities, her optics are awful. Hours after the accusations began to gain traction, the former manager shared a video of herself striking a punching bag and captioned it, "When people can't keep up, they cry sabotage." Her supporters were thrilled. The gap in public opinion widened as her detractors characterized her as aloof and conceited. In the meantime, Remy Ma's silent sideline lurking has raised suspicions. Although she hasn't directly addressed the disagreement, astute admirers have noticed. A tweet that read, "Karma, don't miss," was liked by her. Gossip Wars turns even the smallest social media activity into a headline, regardless of whether it's about Claressa, Papoose, or something else entirely. The most outrageous aspect is that there are currently reports that Claressa may have her own folder on Papoose, which are obviously unfounded. It allegedly includes information on past transactions that went awry, unpaid appearances, and behind-the-scenes activities that could change the story to her advantage. This will be more than simply a dispute if she drops it. It will be a campaign of scorched soil. The stakes continue to rise. Papoose has made it clear that he is thinking about filing a lawsuit, not for defamation, but for interfering with business dealings. Without indisputable evidence, legal experts think it's difficult to win the case. However, even the possibility of a lawsuit might cause repercussions for both of them. Professions. This is being treated like a heavyweight fight by the fans. Like a conspiracy map, every Instagram live, every subtweet, and every mysterious lyric in a freestyle are being examined. There is even a Papoose versus Claressa scoreboard on one TikTok that counts each alleged victory, as well as loss in real time. A leaked audio tape, however, is the most significant indication that this war is far from over. "He thought I was just his girl. I was always the main event," a woman's voice, purportedly that of Claressa, can be heard saying in it. The video is shaky, unreliable, and might be phony. However, perception frequently prevails over reality in the court of public opinion. The feud is now more significant than the split. It's a survival test. Until the audience grows weary and goes on, who can outspin, outlast, and outmaneuver the other? Furthermore, neither Papoose nor Claressa appear prepared to go bankrupt in a society where attention is worth money. There is one more twist, though, and it has the potential to completely change the course of this tale. Because a third party is involved in this drama, according to a source we are not yet able to identify. Someone with a personal vendetta, receipts, and a plan to reveal something shocking that could destroy them both. And that's where things are going to turn dangerous, ladies and gentlemen. The rumors about an enigmatic third party quickly gained momentum. It sounded at first like another conspiracy theory on the internet, the kind that fans make up when the drama becomes too intricate. However, everything changed with a single screenshot. It featured a blurred-out contract with 3 signatures, and was posted anonymously to a gossip blog that is notorious for revealing business secrets. Papoose and Claressa Shields were the first two that were readily apparent. However, on the third, things became crazy because the name matched someone who was at odds with both. Among them, a Derek Heatwave Thomas, a former promoter. For those who don't know, Heatwave used to be well known in the underground boxing meets hip-hop scene. He organized events that combined exhibition fights with rap acts. Additionally, he briefly collaborated with Claressa as well as Papoose. However, at some point, agreements broke down, funds vanished, and resentments were sparked. Heatwave has reportedly been waiting for the ideal time to release a folder of his own, based on hacked direct messages purportedly exchanged with an anonymous blogger. He says in these communications that he has evidence that Papoose and Claressa both participated in dubious activities, such as double booking appearances and ghosting payments. They're both frauds. Pap's playing the victim, Claressa's playing the boss. The truth is, they both used each other and thought nobody was keeping track of them, one purported communication said. Heatwave isn't just come to expose, he's coming to burn it all down. But why now? Why drop this in the midst of their highly public feud? Receipts. Wrong. I preserved everything. There is one notion among industry insiders. Heatwave knows that when two prominent personalities are engaged in a heated argument, they are too preoccupied to defend against a third blow. If his strategy is successful, he wins the upper hand, while they are occupied with tidying up their own mess. A voice note purportedly featuring Heatwave once more chuckling and saying, "It's funny watching them tear each other apart when they should be teaming up to pay me back," was the true kicker. Regardless of whether it's a genuine or troll masterpiece, the video went viral right once, and admirers are now divided into there are three groups: Team Papoose, who think he is the one who has been wronged and is being sabotaged from every side; Team Claressa, who think she is merely protecting her career from a man who is attempting to use her name for importance; and Team Burn It All, who are support. Papoose and Claressa are in a strange situation for the first time since this war began, but will they put aside their differences to deal with Heatwave, or will their animosity for one another override common sense? Everything and watch the chaos unfold. Reportedly, a mutual contact sent the same message to both sides: Heatwave is coming for you both. Handle that, then go back to killing each other. There has been a back-channel attempt at communication, but it is not a reconciliation. Only a ceasefire. It is unclear if either party agreed. Meanwhile, Heatwave's purported bombshell is creating a lot of buzz. According to rumors, he has contracts that show unpaid appearance fees, emails that contradict their public statements, and even behind-the-scenes footage from events that will forever alter your perception of them both. The gossip blogs are running wild. Countdown threads, reaction memes, and wild hypotheses about what the footage might contain abound on Twitter or X, depending on who you ask, and there's a fresh exclusive every day that says the drop is happening any minute. One of the most popular tweets reads, "If Heatwave's folder is real, hip-hop, there is an infinity war for gossip." And then there's the paranoia. Claressa's camp is supposedly reaching out to large sponsors in secret to reassure them that Papoose's team is going over previous agreements and removing anything that might be used against him. Whatever falls won't have an impact on her brand. However, in a surprising turn of events, Heatwave himself posted a mysterious image of an unlit matchstick on Instagram with the message, "Deciding when to strike." The remarks were harsh, with some accusing him of being a clout chaser, some pleading for the receipts, and even cautioning him about making two public appearances. Strong fan bases could backfire, but that may be exactly what Heatwave wants because, according to some sources, his goal is to burn down the entire arena and leave laughing, not to win this fight. The frightening thing is that he might really succeed. If Heatwave's evidence is revealed, it might ruin Papoose's remaining credibility, damage Claressa's reputation as an unbreakable champion, and irrevocably change how people view their conflict. It won't matter who the issue here is that, whether they began it or who won, they will both ultimately lose because, in the competition for public sympathy, speed is everything, and Heatwave is running the clock. One thing is certain though, when this collection that's the one punch no one ever sees coming in the messy, unpredictable world of public drama, but now you've heard it. If it ever does, it won't just be the end of a terrible breakup tale. It will be the start of a scandal neither of them can entirely control. Considering everything, the splits, the betrayals, the dubious contracts, and the enigmatic heatwave folder that has the potential to destroy two careers at once, what will happen next? Will Papoose swallow his pride, team up with Claressa for a final calculated move, and